Today we are looking at biology, paper 2. Question 1. Study the table below and answer the questions that follow. Organisms A and B are of the same size. Food substrate, organism A, organism B. Amount of energy produced in. So we have the food substrate is carbohydrates. In organism A, the amount of energy is 2898. Organism B is 2111. Fats in organism A is 6478, while organism B is 375. Proteins, organism A is 3750, while organism B, the amount of energy is 222. Name the process that is responsible for the energy production in organism A. That is aerobic respiration. Account for energy production in organisms A and B. The account for the energy production is in organism A, aerobic respiration takes place leading to complete oxidation of food substrate. That's higher energy production, while in B, there is aerobic respiration leading to partial or incomplete oxidation of the food substrates and lower energy production. Question C. State 2 reasons why fats are not the main food substrate in organism A. Fats require a lot of oxygen to be oxidized. Fats are also insoluble, thus takes time to be transported to the respiratory sites. These are cytoplasm and mitochondria. D. Explain how age affects energy production in organism A. Young organisms are actively dividing cells. Thus high respiration rate resulting in high energy production. State 1 economic importance of the process that occurs in organism B. Production of biogas, manufacture of alcoholic drinks, manufacture of dairy products such as cheese, manufacture of organism acids such as oxalic acid, used in sewage treatment plants. Question 2. An investigation was performed by a group of students as shown in the setup below. There is the string, we have iodine solution, we have a starch suspension, and then we have a Viking tubing. After 30 minutes, the starch suspension had turned blue-black, while iodine solution retained its color. Name the psychological process that was being investigated in experiment. Diffusion. Account for the results observed after 30 minutes. The Viking tubing is semi-permeable, allowing the small-sized iodine molecules to pass through, but preventing the large-sized starch molecules from crossing. Question 2C. Explain what would happen to a red blood cell when placed in distilled water and left to stand for the same duration as for the experiment. The cell is hypertonic to the solution. which is the solution of distilled water. Hence, water molecules moved into the cell by osmosis, making the cell to swell and eventually burst. That is homolysis. Hemolysis. Question 2D. Define cell physiology. It is the study of the functions of cell structure. Question 3A. In an investigation, equal amounts of water was placed in 3 test tubes, A, B, and C. Water plant of equal length were dropped in each tube. The tubes were then placed in identical conditions of light and carbon dioxide at different temperatures for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, the bubbles produced in each test tube were counted for 2 minutes. The results were recorded in the table below. Test tube A, the temperature was 25 degrees Celsius. Number of bubbles were 30. Test tube B, we had 36 degrees Celsius, where the number of bubbles were 42. In test tube C, there was 57 degrees Celsius in the temperature, while the number of bubbles were 12. So question 3A is, name the one requirement for the process that is not mentioned in the investigation. Chlorophyll. Question 3.2. Name the gas produced in the investigation is oxygen. Account for the results in test tube B and C. The test tube B is at optimum temperature for enzyme activity, hence high rate of photosynthesis. That is why we have more bubbles. In test tube C, most enzymes have been denatured by high temperature and slow rate of photosynthesis. That's why we have fewer bubbles. Question 3B. State 2 ways in which human intestinal virus is adapted to its function. The villus epithelium is thin for faster diffusion of dissolved food substances. The epithelium has goblet cells which produce mucus to lubricate food. It also has microvilli, which further increases surface area for absorption. It also has lacteal for absorption of fatty acids and glycerol, that is the transportation of lipids. It also has higher vascularized. It is highly vascularized for transportation of absorbed food. Question 4. A single cell anemia is hereditary disease due to recessive gene which changes normal hemoglobin to abnormal hypoglobin. The red blood cells of people with single cell anemia are sickle-shaped. What are the possible phenotypes of the offspring of a man who is heterozygous and a woman who is heterozygous? Show your working. So this is the answer. And that's how you should show the working. Question 4b. Single cell trait is more prevalent in tropical countries than in temperate countries. Give an explanation for your observation. In tropical countries, malaria incidence is high. Those who are heterozygous recover faster to malaria. This is called heterozygous advantage or the survival advantage. Define non-disjunction. failure of chromosomes to separate during gamete formation, or you can call it meiosis. The diagram below shows structures of a bat wing and human arm. You can see the wing membrane. These structures are thought to have same ancestral origin. State one structural similarity and one adaptational difference between the two. So, structural similarity is that, both show limb structure. The adaptation difference is human arm has 5 digits separated into 4 fingers and an opposable thumb for grasping, while the bat has 5 digits which are long and spread apart to support a large membranous wing for flight. Question B. Give 2 other examples of structures in nature that show the type of evolution as in A above. Different shapes and sizes of beaks in birds, different feet structure in birds. C. Distinguish between the terms chemical evolution and organic evolution. Chemical evolution explains the origin of life as having occurred when simple chemical compounds reacted to form the simplest life form. Organic evolution is the progressive development of complex organisms from simple pre-existing life forms over a long period of time. Question D. What is the study of fossils called? Paleontology.